Hello everyone, Farah Hanoun here, and I'm joined by Francis Ngannou, who's coming off a fantastic first-round knockout win over Cain Velasquez this past weekend at UFC Phoenix. Francis, how are you, and congratulations on the big win.
Thank you, Farah. I'm doing good. I'm very relaxing, happy.
And you're in Vegas right now, right?
Yes, I'm in Vegas.
What are you up to in Vegas?
I came back home for a little while. I was out, but now I'm back home.
And you're just back in Vegas, so like you're gonna spend a lot of time there now, or are you there for a specific reason?
No, I'm gonna spend time here. You know, this is my home.
Uh-huh.
I mean, this is my physical address, apparently.
Uh-huh. Okay. All right. So like you're saying from now on, like training camps will be in Paris, but you live and train in Vegas. So when you get a fight, you go to Paris to train, but you live in Vegas. Is that what you're saying?
That's not what I said. I said I'm in Vegas. I just, I can train here as well.
Yeah.
So I don't know yet, but I'm here now.
Oh.
That's all what I know.
All right, sorry, because you know how people kind of make a big deal about this. They make that joke that the Francis Ngannou is back because he's in France. You know what I mean? Like they're making a lot out of that. I'm sure you've noticed.
No, I didn't notice, but people will always say something.
Yeah, that's true. I just meant like people were saying like, that because he trained in France, that's why we're seeing the old Francis Ngannou. But I'm sure it's not like that because I know you've done a lot of great work in Vegas. You've got the PI as well, which is always great. How are you feeling physically, by the way? I know it was only a 26-second fight, but physically, are you feeling completely okay? Are you dealing with any nagging injuries or anything like that?
No. I'm physically okay. Some small injuries from the training camp, but which is okay.
Uh-huh.
Which is not a big deal.
Okay, that's good.
And now that that is over, we just take some time, relax.
Absolutely, and of course you've earned that. Let's talk about the fight quickly. Did you imagine that it would be so fast that you would... I know like most of your wins are first round knockouts, but with this one, did you imagine that you would be able to knock Velasquez out so quickly?
No, I couldn't imagine that I knock Velasquez out so quickly. You have to be very stupid to imagine that. Velasquez,
Yeah.
Velasquez is not every fighter is Velasquez. So he wasn't something that can come to my mind.
And I know you had a lot of respect for him. A lot was made from the fact that you were saying that you searched him on YouTube and he's one of the fighters you looked up to. Did it feel different before the fight because it was Cain Velasquez, or was it like fighting every other opponent?
Yes, I mean, like when you're even in training camp to fight some guy like Velasquez, you know that he has a lot of experience, and then he's very smart, he's well-rounded, so that can put you like keep you on pressure, stay on pressure permanently. It's not like every fighter is Velasquez, so it's a little different.
Does this feel like the biggest win of your career?
I might know what I should after, but right now I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was like because the fight didn't go so far, it didn't happen. I mean, we didn't fight too much, so.
I mean, it's like that.
Was there, but
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, sorry, I was gonna say most of your wins are first round knockouts anyway. I mean, you kind of finish everybody under 2 minutes anyway.
Yes, but on that 2 minutes and on that 30 seconds is different because in 2 minutes sometimes you change side, you change some, you know. But it's okay. We have the victory. I'm happy for it.
Of course. And what's next for you? I know you want the world title. Daniel Cormier is the champion. I don't know if you've heard when Ariel spoke to Daniel Cormier about it. He said he didn't seem like entirely interested. He said I would beat Francis, but he didn't seem entirely interested. I know he wants the Brock Lesnar fight. You're in a great position. You're ranked number 2. There's no reason for you to look back. But what do you imagine if you could kind of like predict or foresee the future? What do you think is next for you?
I think what's next for me is the title shot. That's what I think is next for me.
You've definitely earned it, but are you willing to... Because I know with Daniel Cormier, it's not very clear what's going to happen with him. He's kind of wanting the Brock Lesnar fight. We don't know what's going on with Brock Lesnar and if he's actually going to come. John Jones is booked up, so I don't know if Cormier would even think of that. There's the potential Stipe rematch. For you, is it a matter of you just wait to see what the next move will be, and that's when you'll decide what your next move will be?
Actually, I'm not really decide like what the next would be.
Mm-hmm.
I just know that I want the shot. I'm waiting for it. It's the UFC who decide everything.
Absolutely. And a lot of people, when you had your couple of losses in a row, and I remember speaking to you before the Curtis Blades fight, and of course it was a lot of pressure on you mentally and all that, but they talked about when you fought Stipe that he's a wrestler and this is why it's a tough challenge. But what people don't realize is that all the guys you've been fighting, whether it be Curtis Blades, Cain Velasquez, Derek Lewis, Stipe, these are all very good wrestlers and very good boxers. So you, in a way, have been training for these kind of guys pretty much since you've come to the UFC.
Yes, because when I came to the UFC, I just started a fight. I started to fight wrestler right away.
Yeah.
The first fight in the UFC was against Luke Enrique.
Yeah.
Who was in the Brazilian Olympic team of wrestling. Then I fought Getty, who was a wrestler. So I have dealt with wrestler, you know.
Mm-hmm. So yeah,
people have a very short mind when sometimes team went wrong.
mm-hmm.
They just forget about how it was before.
Definitely, and yeah, that's why I'm saying I'm like people haven't been noticing that basically everybody you fought has had that background. I think is you're winning in such incredible fashion and so quickly that people forget the kind of fighters that you've been fighting because we're not seeing, like I'm sure you're working on your wrestling, you work on your jiu-jitsu, but you don't want us to see that stuff, right? I'm sure you're very happy with these quick knockouts. Why would you want us to see this stuff? You train for this stuff, so if it happens in the fight, but of course you're content with these quick knockouts.
Yes, but I would like some time to have a good fight, to have to put what I'm doing in the backstage in the octagon. But when I have a chance,
fair enough.
That will definitely happen.
Fair enough, I understand. And Francis, I was listening to an interview you did before your fight with Cain. I can't remember. I think it was like a radio interview or something. You were talking about your past before you moved to France and stuff, and you were talking about spending a little bit of time in North Africa. Is that correct? Like you're talking about Morocco and other countries. Do you mind if you just expand on that a little bit? Because I was just interested.
Yeah, because when I left Cameroon, I didn't have money for plane ticket. I couldn't have money, but I couldn't stay there either because I just decided to move to do something in my life instead stay and into something would never happen. Then I decided to move to try something. Then I just left. I take my bag. I went in adventure. I walk country by country. and end up in Morocco. That I spent almost 1 year there before finally had a chance to cross the sea and then reach in Spain.
That's incredible. And what was your time in Morocco like? What was that 1 year like? What were you up to there?
It was it was like in her. So if you haven't been in her, you can understand what I mean. Then.
Do you mind like expanding a little bit? It's up to you. Like, is it like this was obviously you were trying to get over to France. I understand that part, but like, were you trying to like what were you up to there?
I was trying to get over.
Yeah.
I was trying to get over in Europe. It wasn't in France. I didn't have friends at that time.
Uh-huh.
I don't know why I ended up in France, but France wasn't in mine. But like when immigration is immigration, you don't have a destination. You just go and then stop somewhere. At the time in Morocco, it's a long story. It was very hard time. Like sometimes we have to live in the forest and then be hurt by the military, like animals, because they want to catch us, throw us in the desert. So we're gonna cross all the desert again. So it was rough. We have to find food in the garbage. Like when the night time to go to the market, I found food in the garbage. What they threw there, doesn't matter what it is, or tomatoes, everything, potato, and find it there in the garbage, and then to try to put maybe some cup and put it in fire and eat. Do all what you can do to survive. It was about surviving.
And do you think
It
these?
was just about surviving.
Yeah. Sorry, I was saying, do you think these tough times that you've gone through, because I'm sure like a lot of people doubted you after these two losses, you only know what you've been through. So for you, in your mind, like you were thinking, like I've been through so much, like I can bounce back from this. Because everyone, it's unfortunate that the fans, malheureusement, they're like that. They when you're not winning, they're against you. Now you're winning again, and everyone's back on the Francis train. But for someone like you who's gone through so much adversity in your career and in your life, really, bouncing back, I'm sure you had no doubt that you could bounce back from these two losses just because of all these hard times you faced to get to this point.
Yes, I mean, it was a very hard time. I admit it. It wasn't easy at all. But I never doubt that I'm going to be what I want to be. That's all what I know. Something just seems obvious. You don't know why. As I dreaming for it. Even when I was in Morocco, even when I left my country, even when I was into all this, I always believe it can happen. And see how far I was. And then today I'm very close. So I don't think something today will be take me as bad as I was before. I'm really close. So if I have a hard time, I know it's just a matter of time. It's just a few steps, and that's it. I have done a lot to just quit here. I have done a lot to give up or to not be able to do this.
Yeah.
It's like my entire life I've been dealing with stuff like this, like always go against odds.
Yeah.
It was tough, right? It was very, very tough, but I knew it, and I mean that's why I found my place to bounce back.
Absolutely, and it really is an incredible story. You talked about, are you planning on going to Africa anytime soon? Cameroon?
I don't really want to, like, because Just last year in Africa, like 3 times. I spent around 4 months in Africa. It was great, but it is a little too much. But I opened a foundation there, and then I want to run it to follow how that goes pretty close. So I don't want to, but I feel like I have to.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't yet know.
I see. And
I don't know yet.
for the longest time, we talked about we want to see a UFC in France, but now people are talking about we want to see a UFC in Africa. Which one do you think we'll see first?
First moving is the French with like very slowly, police calling stuff, and Africa moving in Africa way, very fast, open. So I think Africa might happen because they are ready for it. Now it's up to the USA, but Africa is ready. I have spoke with some people in Cameroon, and they're ready. Cameroon are ready. We were really expecting the African of nation.
Yes.
So we debuted different things like stadium, hotels, stuff like that, and then we didn't have it, but we have all these things to welcome UFC as ever.
Wouldn't that be something? Whether you challenge for the belt there or defend your belt there, how incredible of a story. It would be like full circle for you.
Yes, but that would be great to fight, have a chance to fight there. But also, once again, that fight should happen this year in Africa.
This fight you saying should happen this year?
I think the UK event could happen this year.
Oh.
Yes, we still have more than 10 months ahead.
Yeah.
A little bit more than 10 months, so you can still have.
One last thing, Francis, before I let you go, and I appreciate the time. When ideally would you like to get back in there? If you could choose when you'd like to have your next fight, when would you like to get back in there?
When?
Yeah.
Maybe June, by then. Yes, something like June.
All right. Awesome stuff. Francis, I really appreciate your time. It was great hearing a bit more about your story. I really appreciate that. Congratulations on a phenomenal win. I spoke to you before the Curtis Blades fight, so it makes me really happy to see you bounce back in the incredible fashion. And I'm glad to see people back on the Francis train. It's unfortunate, malheureusement, that they do that they kind of like go against you and then they get back on the train. You know how it is, of course. But congratulations on a fantastic win, and I'm really excited to see what's next for you.
At least I have some goal for my life.
Yeah.
I deserve that. I deserve the attention. It's great. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you. Have a good day.